Hello everyone and welcome back to the Barrel and our series where we analyse each AFL club's 2024 fixture, identify potential breakout stars and set a realistic passing mark for their season. Today we have the Geelong Footy Club. Now after a premiership hangover in 2023, obviously missing the finals after winning the premiership the year prior, there's some major questions surrounding the age of the list that the Cats have, as well as if they have the potential to make the finals yet again. So we're going to analyse all of that today. I'm sure that is the number one question on the Cats fans' tongues. Can their team challenge for a premiership again? Can they make the finals or be competitive? Let's find out by recapping their 2023 and seeing what lies ahead for them in 2024.
In 2023, the Cats finished 12th on the ladder with 10 wins, 12 losses and a draw. They started the year absolutely horribly, going 0-3 before smashing Hawthorn in their Easter Monday clash. They lost a few games at GMHBA, which they aren't too used to doing, notably against Fremantle, GWS and the Dogs in the final round. They're a bit inconsistent, losing games they probably shouldn't have on paper, while winning games they probably shouldn't have as well. So I thought they were largely competitive, but obviously the competition last year was so strong that they couldn't break into the 8 with the amount of wins that they had, unfortunately. Now, for their 2024 fixture, it is ranked the 5th easiest or 14th hardest. They have a bye in round 14. They travel to Adelaide twice, once against the Crows in round 2 and also for gather round against the Dogs at Adelaide Oval. They also go to Brisbane in round 6, Sydney in round 13, They play North Melbourne in Hobart in round 20, and they travel to Perth to face the Dockers in round 22. In terms of their double-ups, they have Carlton, St Kilda, Western Bulldogs, Adelaide, Hawthorn and North Melbourne twice. Now just on those last two teams, they beat North and Hawthorn by a combined 144 points last season, so they should be some easy wins if that trend continues. And for Carlton, they've won 12 of their last 15, but obviously the Blues, they're a different gravy heading into this season, being in the best position they've been in for a long period of time. St Kilda, they smashed Geelong last year at Marvel Stadium, obviously cemented a finals berth for them, so they'd be hoping for a repeat of that. And the Saints, a bit of a dangerous side with how young they are. They're a bit volatile, so I'd be wary of that. The Dogs, they're always a very, very strong side on paper, but can never really translate that onto on-field success. So Cats fans will be hoping that that is the case yet again. And for the Crows, they are definitely not a team I want to be playing twice. I've tipped them to finish quite high up the ladder, definitely in the 8. Their list is fantastic. They're primed. Their young stars are great. And they're just very dangerous based on what I saw last year. So it's a decent crop to be playing twice. They have a good record against a lot of them. A lot of them it's a wait and see as well. But there are some steady improvers in there, such as Hawthorn and North Melbourne, who they demolished last year, as mentioned before. So it is a bit of a wait and see with every team they play in there. They have 9 games at GMHBA Stadium, including teams that wouldn't really travel down there much, such as Hawthorn and Richmond. They also play Adelaide, GWS, North Melbourne, St Kilda, Port Adelaide, West Coast, and the Dogs at GMHBA. So they'd be looking to get a win in all of those games. They play 6 at the home of footy, the MCG. And overall, this is a fantastic fixture for them. As I mentioned before, they play teams at GMHBA who don't usually go there, so they'd be getting the upper hand for that. The trips aren't really the best, as they do travel to each state, including the Northern Territory, which they play their first game for premiership points up there. And it should be a very nice stepping stone to propelling the Cats back into the 8. For breakout players, I have 3 that I think stand out quite distinctively to me. Number 1, Toby Conway. One up-and-coming ruckman for the Cats. He should be given increased opportunity after dominating the VFL. He probably won't be a defined star straight out of the blocks, but I'm certain he'll take a leap and show enough potential to the Geelong faithful to entrust him with that role as primary ruckman for years to come. Number 2, Jai Clark, he only played the one game in 2023, but I think this is the year that he starts breaking into that midfield for the Cats. He's scouted as, quote, a hard-edged and competitive player, which is exactly what the Cats need at the moment. And with him being taken at pick 8, they'd be hoping he gets on the park sooner rather than later. And finally, Max Holmes. I think 2024 will finally be the year that Holmes gets put on the map. He obviously missed the grand final in heartbreaking fashion with a hamstring injury in 2022. But every single Geelong game I've watched, I pretty much watch all of them, he's impressed me. Being a speedy outside midfielder, I think this is the year that his composure and ball use will be at the level where he starts to get noticed more regularly by everyone on the field, including the umpires, so he could translate that into a few Brownlow votes. And I definitely see him as a future star of the competition. He really is the real deal and severely underrated even at his current level. Now, for a passing mark, there's no doubt that every Geelong fan wants to see their side back in the 8. I see them getting very close, and I certainly would not write them off, although many already have. So for a passing mark, I'd see them as a top 8 side 100%. Their guns are still fantastic, and their young stars are also quite good. The limiting factor could be if the side does start to transition quicker than expected, that it could take a bit of time for those young people to gel. However, with the star power they have among their best players, such as Jeremy Cameron, Dangerfield, and Stewart, I definitely think that they should be expecting and pushing themselves to make the finals throughout 2024. With the fixture they have, it is very much a possibility, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they go with that. Their forward line is as good as any, with Jeremy Cameron and Tom Hawkins are two tall guns in there. They're surrounded by quality small forwards such as Tyson Stengel, Myers, Brad Close, and Ollie Henry. They'll also probably get Dangerfield in there quite a bit when he's taking a break from the midfield as an added boost. Gary Rowan and the newly drafted Sean Manor also add some depth in there, as well as Dempsey and Shannon and Neal, who I don't think will make the side round 1, unfortunately. Their midfield is very underrated. Obviously, they have the main man, Danger, in there, who will probably spend less time in there as the year goes on. Holmes and Blitzarves on the wings are great for them, as they are two elite runners and athletes in general. Atkins and Guthrie have been underrated their whole career, so they'll get down to their dirty business as per usual. And as mentioned before, I think Conway and Clark find a way to break into this midfield in some way, which is exciting for the future of the Cats. Their backline did take a bit of a hit in the off-season with the departure of Isava Radigalia, but still remains pretty strong. Tom Stewart, the superstar, will be supported by De Koning and Colin Jasny as key position players, and they also have little men in there like Guthrie and Buse to rebound out of the 50. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jack Bowes in there at some stage. He showed quite a bit in the games he did play last year. Tom Stewart was also rumoured to be playing more midfield time, so I'm not sure how they will replace him back there or if that'll happen at all. I remember last year against Brisbane at the Gabba, he did play a bit of midfield time, but I'm really not sure how that dynamic would work out for them in the backline where he is the focal point. So I'm very intrigued to see how the Cats go in 2024. Will they get back to the finals as they're so used to doing? Or is this a new norm for the aging Cats? Check out our best 22 video in the description for an idea of who we have making their final team. And that'll do it. Join us next time as we analyse the Gold Coast Suns for season 2024. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.